Welcome everybody to the Mind, Body, and Soul TV, coming to you live from our Denver, Colorado studios, the best city to live in the good old United States of America. I'm your host, Coach Steve Toth, and also the one that started ConsciousEvolutionMedia.com 12 years ago. We have a fantastic show for you this evening, as always. We have a great guest with us. Her name is Stefana Johnson, and she's a coach and an author, and she's joining us from that place where Jimi Hendrix was born. So how can you go wrong with that? It's impossible.
Impossible.
Welcome to the show, Stefana.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. So the theme of the show for this evening is changing lives from the inside out, and that's really what you do. It's what you, I believe, dedicated your life to. But before we get into it a little deeper, tell me what would happen if I took away those titles, coach, author, and any other titles that anybody has ever called you in your life? What would be left? Who is really Stefana Johnson?
Well, isn't that a title as well? Isn't Stefana Johnson the title that I'm walking around with? I love your question, Steve. And I want to take it to heart. So it would be, I mean, ultimately the answer is me, of course, right? And
but who is you?
Creator.
Very good. Wow.
What, creator?
No one has ever said that before, and I've done thousands of these.
I just won the $1 million. You know, yes. It's funny. It's one of those things that you have to be responsible for that piece, because once you know that you are the creator of your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, everything that's going on, everything that's manifesting, it's a big responsibility. And if you're not ready for it, you know, then it's not something you want to really own and take on. But our big thinkers from the last few centuries have said that, you know, we are the creators, we are the source, we are the source.
And isn't it unfortunate, sad, whatever words I could use, that most people don't want to own that because they're afraid?
You know, I can understand you saying it would be sad and unfortunate. But the truth is, I think that every single individual is coming from where they need to be at the time. I'm firmly believing this, and I'm affirming it with each of my clients, because if I try to push them to get that realization and just show them how simple it is, there's just no way to do that until they're ready to unfold. And then when it does happen, and when it happens, I can't predict that. It's truly magical. So I'd rather have that gift of them having that push and pull, and that, you know, that juxtaposition of, I'm victim, I can't do anything. So that when they do get that experience, there is a real shift. And it's completely empirical evidence. It's completely so tangible to them. They can taste it, they can feel that experience. It's not some fleeting nirvana experience of sitting in yoga pose and taking a breath in and they get something for a fleeting moment. It's permanent. They get it. And then they can step into the physical reality that they've created. They can step on their stage that they've created. They can play around, and then they can come back and realize that they're the director and adjust a few things. And that's where the fun really begins, right?
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's where the magic begins to occur. And you know, I was talking to a client earlier today, and in that 15-20 minute conversation, she gave me a million reasons why she couldn't do this and why she couldn't do that, and I had a choice about how I was going to respond. And the way I responded is I just let her to be with it, because that's where she was at. And interrupting her and judging her and trying to change her wasn't going to get any of the results that anybody would be looking for. So I just let her be who she is at the moment. And you said it. That's exactly right. And by the end of the conversation, she came to her own realization that there's certain things she can do here. It doesn't have to be all, it's the end of the world.
That's right.
So it's fantastic. So how did you change your life from the inside out? I'm really curious.
Well, I do it every single day because it's a conscious choice, and I happen to have written a book about it. I think I talked to you about this before, how one of those concepts where, like learning with anything, I think that that idea where we're not born with that owner's manual. And so I had a really fortunate experience. Steve, just tell me, I have some feedback. Is that something I'm doing? That I have feedback in my ear, my headset?
I'm not hearing any.
Okay. All right. So the thing that when I was 16, I had an aviation class that I took. And I took it as an elective because I thought I was going to get to go up in the air and fly for sixth period, right? So I was going to actually get in an airplane and fly. And what happened instead was we got to study books. And that's what you do in a classroom, right? You study about books. So that entire class time was spent studying trajectory and slide rules and all kinds of things that had nothing to do, in my mind, with actually flying. So by the time we finished, the caveat was that if we aced it, we would actually get to go and fly, and we'd have an instructor who would take us up, and we would be able to fly and pilot. So I aced it, and then I got to actually get on to the tarmac. And when this instructor came onto the tarmac, you know, I saw this little airplane that could actually fit into my office here, and the panic started. So immediately I went out of my head. I went into my head of the environment of remembering, oh no, that this could crash. What if? Mm-hmm. All the things I've seen on TV, all the things I've seen externally. And that took over, and I went completely out of my own skin, my own feeling, you know, and went into this thinking part that sometimes can get us in trouble, right? This piece here. And my flight instructor, who was truly an amazing mentor in my life, noticed that immediately and had me do some things so simple. And that's ended up what the fundamentals of what I teach is the Pilot Your Way method, and the book that I wrote, Peace Doesn't Come with a Pill, that the first thing he had me do was touch the airplane, get present, feel the fuselage, feel the propeller. Of course, it wasn't moving. Feel the door, feel the metal, feel the texture. And I noticed I was able to come back into my body, into my heart space, into my gut space, and then all that thinking settled and became something I could use like knowledge, like understanding, like wisdom. And so my life became that experience of understanding that, you know, and especially now in this day and age, we have access to so much information, so much technology, so much headspace, thinking, that we can lose sight of what's here, what's in our heart, what's in our gut. And so having swung the pendulum both ways to the extreme of being so logical and thinking and studying so hard and trying to study the world's great religions and figure out spiritually and study about the body and understand how the body should move and be the strongest and most powerful and how the brain could do this and Einstein and, you know, try and figure it all out here. My pendulum swung so far over that I was completely disconnected to my heart space, to my body, to my feeling, intuition, to, you know, to this amazing home that I have. Then that bringing that pendulum swing back to a little bit more here, you know, and used tools like Qigong, yoga, some principles that are wonderful for helping not only ground the body, but utilize and experience the heart, the emotions, the feelings, and balance it with this intellect, this amazing function of the brain and the knowledge that we have and experiential pieces that this brain is. And as a result, you know, that to me is the culmination of me experiencing, making the changes I needed to from the inside out, and balancing that with what was coming from the outside in, right? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in a short way. But here's the thing. So I'm a technology kind of a guy. I started to do these videos 12 years ago, but nobody even knew what internet TV was. So I was kind of ahead of my time, and I'm kind of responsible creating this device because I was in England with a very large consulting firm figuring this thing out. And I'm noticing that in many ways, this technology stuff is backfiring on humanity because the brain loves this buffet. It's an incredible buffet that's available to it. The internet, the information you spoke about very elegantly, and all the stuff we have, all the tools that we have, and our brain is completely like engorged in getting as much information as it can possibly get. And people are getting disconnected from each other and from themselves. They living in this, for me, I experience it as a not reality. It's an alternate reality that people are living in. I mean, have you noticed? I was in New York a little while back, and I noticed that everybody, I mean, I lived in New York before, and I noticed that everybody's walking down the street with one of these, and nobody's looking up. Nobody used to look up before either, but now everybody's looking at this thing. And same thing in restaurants. You know, I go to any restaurants, people are there with other people, but they're not talking to each other. They're doing this. It's a concern. It's a concern for me. It really a deep concern because everything that I'm up to and everything that I'm doing is about connecting to in here. But the technology that we are creating is not doing that. It's taking us away from it.
Well, I don't think you're alone in that concern. And it's why I started Yogalachi. It's why I opened a physical location, a storefront where people could come and connect instead of me just coaching virtually. We have a community where people walk in and they know, and not only do I know them, every single person in here knows each other on a first name basis, on a personal basis, and they don't bring their cell phones in here. We, in fact, don't even have Wi-Fi in here because we're in a metal building, so we don't have very good, you know, Wi-Fi doesn't actually function very well in here. So the thing with that though is that it's just like that pendulum swinging, right? We learn from that. So what can you learn from that? Because the truth is we have enormous ability with that. We've created such capacity for communication and connection with these devices. They've just been, the pendulum has swung too far. So now how can we come back and create a balance? And I think it has to come back to personal responsibility. And I am a very big proponent of that. You know, as a coach, as someone who works with clients, I am not their guru. I am not someone who is doing it for them. I am the person standing here holding you, holding them powerful when they can't hold themselves powerful. Yet I'm the facilitator. You know, I'm not doing it for them. I'm the facilitator for their self-empowerment. And that's what I feel that we all have to do, whether it's with our own children, whether it's with the cell phone situation, so start a grassroots effort. Put the phone down. And, I think I saw something about a gentleman putting free hug, and he was just standing there and he was giving out free hugs, and the response was tremendous. So maybe it's going to be to bring back that pendulum swing to a little bit more balanced. But isn't that the way of humankind? We have extremes that we do, and there's just part of that. Going back to that, we are creators. What do you want? What do you want to choose? I'm not the person who walks around with my smartphone. I use it and have amazing tools on it, and I would have still had my clamshell had I my little clamshell flip phone as my main phone, because it worked. It was a workable tool. But there's other functionalities that I found as beneficial. And now it's just a matter of, well, here's another piece that we should also talk about, because I work with the fitness world. I work with the body, right? I work in health and fitness, in that I am helping my clients reconnect to their bodies through movements, through breath, through nutrition, through thoughts, because that's all part of it, because I practice a holistic modalities that help my clients take back control of their life from the inside out, and do so myself. And one of the things that happens is that, well, I'm sure you've had lots of guests on the show that talk about vibration, right?
Oh, sure. Everything.
Yeah. Okay. So
everything is vibration. Everything is energy.
Everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And as we're driving down the road, and we're in our vehicles, and there's many radio stations, and now with the internet, the Sirius or whatever it is, you have thousands at your beck and call, where we used to have like 6 or 7 channels, but they're still going on. The one you choose and you push the button on, so you focus on, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll get. And so I think that having that idea, and being bombarded with all the information in the brain, the reticular activator syndrome, that part of the brain, well, we can encourage that part of our brain to become more aware of those folks who want to have personal connection. I started a meetup group called Happy Healthy Happenings in East Vancouver, because I wanted to meet and find other people who were pushing dial in to HHH Vancouver radio and get what we were doing. And that's what we have to do. It's called personal responsibility. It's called create your life and have fun doing it. We can't just sit at home, plop our feet up, and see what's on TV, and that's our life, right? Or be on the cell phone, or be on the Facebook, and be on the this and be on the that, because, well, you can if that's what you want to do. But
obviously people are doing it, and they're not even aware that they're doing it. So I think you talked about this before. I've seen it on your website, to get back in control. So what I really would like people to notice is when they constantly on this, they are not in control, these devices. And so the way I deal with it, and I also do this work in corporate America, is that I do it by example, and I don't really push this on people. I don't even talk about it. My phone is always turned off. What a concept. It's never turned on to ring. When somebody leaves me a message, I will return it when I can. Otherwise, I will not touch this phone. I mean, I will look at certain things. When I have time, when I'm in a state where I'm not doing something else, I will look to see what messages do I have, what phone calls do I need to return. But I am in control, not this thing.
Good.
And so that's by doing it by example. And I don't talk about this. I just display it. And nobody has ever even come up to me yet and say, how come your phone never rings? People don't even notice it. And it doesn't beep and doesn't do all the other stuff. And I have people around me all day long that their heads are down looking at their phones. People are talking to each other. People are in meetings and looking at their phones. And when I go into a meeting with people that I'm responsible for, I ask them to leave their phone at their office. Don't bring it. So I mean, these are the things that we can do, and these are the things we can talk about. And same thing with television. It's like, how do people choose what to make themselves available for? I think it's an important question, because
it's vital. That's the most
what
vital
we listen to, what we watch, who we hang out with is our creation, right? So if we're sitting on our couch and watching commercial television for 4 hours a day, wow. And it's not a judgment on my part, but oh boy, what kind of creation is that, and where is that going to take somebody?
Well, it's a tough thing, because when you become a creator, you have to work. You have to actually be busy. And quite frankly, and I'm going to be totally honest about this, I think it was a couple nights ago, I just went home and I was done creating. And I plugged in a movie.
Yeah.
And I was a spectator, and I observed a movie completely from the viewpoint of a spectator, not trying to learn something from the actors or how to do makeup or how for any reason except literally I was a spectator during that moment, to laugh, to enjoy, and I was
to be entertained. Yeah. Uh-oh. I think Stefana froze.
Have experienced the ease of not having to actually in your life. And it's so much easier. I mean, think of the movie WALL-E. What a perfect movie that came out too early, and we need to re-release that thing, because I think we're back into the whole concept of WALL-E, where everybody's just like, okay, touch screen, give me a soda. Bump, there's the giant size, super size, blah, and everything's done for you. So, again, there's that pendulum that swung. But one thing I want to do is give folks some actual tools to use, right?
Excellent.
Okay, so I talked about personal responsibility, and what I want to say is, it's not personal responsibility as blame or regret or guilt or shame or any of those lower base types of things. It's about personal responsibility of like, wow, even if you are like in the muck of the, in the middle of the worst of worst, in the middle of your husband in ICU and having a heart attack and he's unconscious in a coma, or your child's going through an illness, or your business is collapsing or whatever, and so you're in it, right? So if you're in the worst of the worst, what can you do? The real piece that shifted for me was when I removed the judgment. This is bad, this is good, this is whatever. And I stepped into that space of, well, love, the vibration of love and above. So love has got that connotation of, oh, sappy boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't mean that. I mean that vibration that's so up there where there's no disconnection between the energy of the flowers, the wall, the pictures, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly.
And then
exactly
the pain and the suffering dissipates. All of that noise dissipates, including the elation of winning the lottery or the greatest win ever. So you've got all these juxtapositions, you've got all of this pendulum, the balance. It's all about this balance, right? So you've got the extremes. And when you can come at it from this place of, whoa, okay, that's the awareness and personal responsibility at that level. You are the creator, and that everything happens twice. first in your mind. So what's your mind? Is it this piece of cottage thing that is in your, or is it close your eyes, think of your cat, or think of a white cat with red tipped ears if you don't have your own cat, with a tail with furry? Who's thinking of that? Is it some mechanical thing in here?
No.
No, it's you. It's your mind, right? So you're the creator.
It's actually, I would say, the real you.
Yes, and knowing that and discovering that, you now have something to work with. And that's where you've just stepped into present. Okay, here I am. Because the moment you go into judging, you're not present anymore, right? You're
okay. So let me share with you, if I may, how I got to the same thing. Not that my way is better than yours. It's just an alternate way. It's another way. So how I got to the same thing is I recognized that we have this huge system that we're living in, which is based on duality. Everything has an opposite. And if we are choosing between these opposites, we're in trouble. So what I have done for me is I just use this concept of allowing for everything that occurs. And that got me to a place, the same place I think that you got to, which is love, that everything is perfect just the way it is, and it doesn't matter that it's good or bad, it's all the same thing, and just allow for it, because guess what? It's happening.
Yes. And I hear you on the duality piece, but what if there isn't black and white? What if there just is? Because the moment we say there's black and white and there's duality, we've just made the judgment and we've stepped back into it. But
yeah,
what
exactly.
What if we went from the place of, okay, here we are right here, right now, breathe in, breathe out. And then from that place of love, of being present, of everything's perfect, setting an intention. Setting your intention from your heart space, setting your, whatever you want to call it, that's you, and deciding, okay, what am I going to put up on my screen? What am I going to create? That's setting your intention, okay? So being intentional is really crucial to creating your life. And when I say setting your intention, so a lot of times what folks will have is they'll say an intention, but it'll actually be a false intention or someone else's intention, mommy's, daddy's, the teachers, the whomever they've adopted as their personality. And so we kind of have to backtrack and go, wait a minute, who are you? Come back to present and get into your skin. So back into that moment, breathe, set your intention, your sacred intention. And then from there, staying and creating from that vibration of the love, the laugh, the laughter. I love laughter because you cannot be stressed out. You cannot be in that other component of anger and upset. If you're laughing, it just shifts the energy. It shifts physically. It shifts from the inside out, right? So I love using laughter as a component, not joking and degrading laughter. I mean pure of heart laughter. And then also listening, as my grandmother used to say, listen from the third ear, from your heart, right? When you listen from your heart, your third ear, you hear something different, right? Because you're feeling instead of thinking. And that shifts things. So with that sacred intention set and then listening from your heart, it's almost as if you've created a compass or a guide, or you've got your destination now. So you've charted a little bit of your course of where you're going to go. Now we can talk about a few other things, but then the next piece is that you start to observe how your world shifts. And when you observe that things shift with a little bit of turbulence, you can adjust back, resetting your intention, coming back to the present, listening from your heart, coming to that higher vibration, and it being a continuous creation. And then using of observation, which strictly speaking is noticing things without judgment, right? And then from there, applying specific tools that are workable for creating your best life ever, which is my purpose, my mission on this time-space continuum, that I'm here to serve my clients and the people that I'm serving, to help them live their best lives ever. And so I've developed tools, and I think that, I mean, I've developed tools for myself. So think about having a toolbox, and every person, every thing has its own toolbox that's unique to them. I really believe this. There is not a toolbox that should be a cookie cutter toolbox for you. And I don't care if there's 50 women who are my exact same type, age, everything. They need to have their own individual toolbox. Now, some of them may look similar. Maybe everybody's going to have a hammer, but they may use it a little differently, or maybe a little different weighted. And so if you understand that you can create your own toolbox, and maybe that toolbox is so full of so many tools that are unworkable, or that are not being used properly, or that are being abused, then maybe we need to get rid of some of those tools that are in that toolbox and restart and look at, okay, what is the most effective tool that I can use right now to help me start to live my best life? One of my favorite and best first tools that I go to is breath, breathing, right? It's fundamental. It's an essential, fundamental tool. The next is water. I'm going to pick up my water and I'm going to drink when I'm racing, before I would ever go and check my Facebook page, or check this, or go on the internet and find something to fill in some void. Because I think that that's really what's going on with people, is that they are so malnourished, connection-wise, their needs are not being met.
Well, everybody's looking for the shiny object out there. That's what they're busy doing.
That's a substitute, right? That's a substitute for the lack of them being fully present with who they really are, which is nothing, which is absolutely nothing but pure create. And that's a scary, scary thing, because what if you create something bad or wrong or not good, and then they judge you? That kind of stuff could happen.
But wait, Stefano, because here's the bridge. I think people need to realize that they're creating their lives as it is right now, completely 100%.
Yes.
Completely 100%.
Yes.
That's how powerful they are.
Well, yes, but the thing is, we've kind of shifted in paradigms, because by default, they're creating their life of their parents, right? What they're living right now, what we're living, this is the past.
They are unintentionally creating their lives. Is that what you want to say? Yeah.
Thank you very much. They're unintentionally creating their lives. So they don't, or they're other intended. Okay?
Yeah.
There are many, many people who are intentionally creating their lives, but it's someone else's intention.
Yeah, yes.
So, the marketing machines, the puppet math. Okay, so yeah. But you know what? It can be so much fun, and that's what's so great. And that's why I do what I do, and that's why you probably do what you do, because you know how much joy you get from creating and co-creating life.
Yeah, there are really truly no limits. It's just fantastic. What a fantastic game to play. Oh my God.
Yes. And listen, it's not about being Pollyanna, because I'll have people say, like, oh, she's just too happy, she's too positive. Like, are you kidding me? It's like, that's not what this is about. This is about creating. And yeah, I much prefer to be in this higher vibration than down there in this, like, poor me, I suck, I can't, blah, blah. Like, that's not, I've been there, done that, finished. I'm ready to play a bigger game. How about that? Why not?
Yeah, why not? That's right. So, but
come on down, come and join us, have some fun with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, why not? Because it takes the same energy, it takes the same amount of time, which doesn't even exist, to create something absolutely awesome and crazy and fun than it does the dramas that people are so involved in creating. It's the same stuff.
Yes, and here's what's really interesting. So the brain is actually addicted to that stuff. So it's going to take time to detach yourself from those patternings, because you are used to being you're used to it, so your brain has to shift.
Yes, we have
and
to
you have to understand that.
So let me make sure that I got this. So the change in lives from the inside and out, what I'm hearing in that is that we have to reprogram ourselves from the inside out. We have to do the reprogramming. Nobody will do it for us.
Absolutely. We have to bathe ourselves in new thought, consciously, intentionally, in every single moment.
Yes.
And the moment you don't, you've gone off course. Now, does that sound like a hard work? Absolutely. Absolutely. It probably does sound like hard work, but I will tell you something. It works 100% of the time. It is miraculous if you will do it. It does not take that long. If you can think of 30 days, I usually say a minimum of 90 days. I work with my clients. I won't take on a client for less than 90 days, period. Because really, sometimes it takes 90 days just to get the facade chipped away so that we get to the real person, and then they can start creating. And then the 4th and the 5th, 6th month, there's this whole new creation going. So by the end of the year, there is a transformation like nobody's business. And that's what's awesome. Again, time isn't arbitrary, right? So that's an arbitrary, but people are always asking me, how long does it take? Well, I want it done in 30 days. Okay, I don't do it in 30 days, especially, it's like the old Zen saying. What does he say? If, the martial artist wants to come and he wants to learn from the master, and he says, how long will it take me, master, to make it? I will give you anything. How long will it take me? And he says, it'll take you 10 years of hard work and diligence. And then the student says, I will pay you double and I will work twice as hard. And he says, well, in that case, it'll take 20 years. So, right?
I love it. Yeah.
So you get it, right? It's the same type of thing. So if someone comes to me and they want it now, I will double it, because I know they're not present. They're exactly pushing.
They want the easy. They want the easy fix.
They want the easy fix, and they want to push through it, and they want someone else to do it. They want the pill. They want someone to give them the pill so that they have peace and the perfect body and the perfect relationship and happiness and joy, or the perfect car, the perfect nose, or the perfect cheekbones, or the perfect butt. It doesn't come in a pill, or it doesn't come in, you know what I mean? It's not that thing anymore. It's you. You have to create it. And that's what the fun thing is. There's your $1 million answer. There's your ultimate infinity worth, priceless answer. Yeah. You are the creator. So now what? Consciously create. Come back to presence. Your presence, and practice it, because it is a practice, right? We're continuing. It's a continuum. Practice. Set your intention. Be intentional. Move forward. Know where your destination is, right? I mean, think about a pilot. He's got to have his destination before he ever even takes off. We're already in flight. My goodness, everybody's already in flight. How many people know destinations? I can tell you there's probably a fraction of the population, half of a percentage of the world's population that knows an actual destination they're going to. And as a result, everybody gets pushed off in different directions at any given moment, and you've got chaos, and you've got what we've got now. So choose your destination, be intentional, right? Whether it's for the next hour, the next day, the next year, the next 5 years, the next lifetime. Be intentional. Different than setting goals, but has similarities, similar feelings in that. Being intentional. Come from that heart space. Listen, that vibration, that higher love vibration. Laugh if you have to, so that you can keep that noise that's going to come in, because it's going to be like the universe is going to create this, like, wait a minute, there's like this tsunami coming at you, and you're going to have to pull yourself out of that, so that you can let that crap go, and just keep letting it go, so that you can start creating from that intentional place, right? And then observe when there's some stuff going on, and then apply some tools. Apply the tools. Breathe. Use your wisdom. Use my gosh, we have amazing internet, and look at you, you're doing a show right now. How many shows have you done? 12 years your worth? I bet there's gold in those shows.
20,000, but it doesn't matter anymore. I don't care about how many shows I've done because
tools there.
It's not about that. Yeah.
But there's tools. What I'm saying is that people have access to tools, but they need to get focused. Because if you're not focused, everything's there. So if you pinpoint what it is you want, which is you set your intention, you know where you want to go, right? I have 3 things I focus on in my life. My faith first, my family, and my service. I'm crystal clear on that. And then I have my core values that I operate from.
Yes.
Fundamentally, I come from my core values every single day. That's what gets me up in the morning, and that's what's breathing and living through me and my cells, my cell walls, my physical body, my heart space. And I have my tools that I develop.
And would you say when something comes in from the outside world that doesn't match any of those 3 things, it doesn't fit, it's very easy for you to say no to those? Correct?
I don't even have to say no because they don't even come in.
They don't even come anymore, right? But at the beginning, they come and then
they're not there. Yes,
and then
really
and then they don't even same thing here. We don't have, for example, guests like yourself and others that come to this network. When I did this years ago, we had to interview people because we weren't sure that they're going to fit the network, and we don't do that anymore because the laws of attraction takes care of it, and I trust it 100%.
Awesome, and you're creating.
And it works. It works. I don't have to mess with that stuff. It just, I focus on the content and the dialogues that we are having. So this is very, very powerful. So what you do is exactly the stuff that I am all about. And it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm at an awe. And I know that you and I are not the only ones doing this. And that's fantastic. So let me just share one more concern with you that's been coming up for me, and that is, it has to do with technology again, because you mentioned it very elegantly, that people want stuff like they want it right now. And so what's happening, and I know you know that games are becoming more popular than even videos now, and people are getting very engaged with games, and they're working on not just to have games to be visually and auditory wise so perfect that you won't be able to tell the difference between reality and a game. The quality is going to be so good, and it's just a couple of years away. And they're working on feeling, and they're working on touch, and they're working on smell. So once this is all incorporated into these games, people can actually order whatever experience they want.
Right.
And they will get it right now.
Yes.
That stuff.
But it's a via, right?
Pardon me?
It's a via, meaning it's like it's a
quick fix
that they're using. Well, it's not even the quick fix. It's like, I guess the creator who, because there's people having fun creating that stuff, and there's people having fun.
Absolutely.
I mean, lots of them. And there's lots of people who have jobs that are funding that and creating that and making it, and the businesses and all that. And so and it's so to answer your concern from my viewpoint, it's just that there is that via. Once again, it's like not fully being, they're just playing the game of how can we substitute ourselves, again, not taking that full responsibility.
Well, exactly. So it's the deal is
population.
The deal is really, do you want a real experience? Do you want to create a real experience, or do you want the fake one? And that's your choice.
Right. The thing that does concern me about that, if I were to go into that energy, is that people will not be able to differentiate between reality, that's agreed upon, and the reality, the game, because that is real. I mean, that is real for people. I'm telling you, I don't care if it's.
It will be completely real. Yeah.
And that's why we have the insane, very crazy, horrible, sad behavior that goes on with the shootings and the terrible torture that people do to one another with their bodies. Like, what? But that's unfortunately where that goes, and that's what's happening with that. But that's, again, I could step into that and deal with that, but that's not my realm. That's not kind of what I do. I have my concerns because I have a 10 and an 8-year-old, and so they are my life. My concern for them is that is what the reality will be that's agreed upon by the majority of our population. I mean, all you have to do is look at the typical Facebook news, anything on the typical news feeds that are going on, and it's just like, really? But it's continuously perpetuated of this cycle. It's insane. I mean, it's truly insane from my viewpoint, but that's not understood. It's like, no, that's just what it is. We have to follow along, but, and then there's renegades. So, and I'm definitely known as kind of the renegade or the black sheep.
Well, I got completely disillusioned with social media. So I don't even engage. I have other people engaging to do the stuff that we need to do for the network, but I can't do it. I just can't do it because it's so fake to me. I want connections with people one-on-one, like the one you and I are having right now, and that's where the magic is. So
yes, I think so, and I think that people will feel that and desire that, or the right, when I say the right people, I don't mean that there's right and
the
wrong.
People that are ready.
The people that are ready. The people are that vibration that they're plugging in. They're going, yes. I want HHH on my radio. I want happiness. I want health. I want happenings. I want connection. Awesome. Attractive. Here we
exactly.
Go. Right?
So since you just mentioned that, so tell our viewers a little bit about how they can work with you, the different ways that you work with people, how they can engage with you, and how can they sign up on your program, how can they get your book, all that good stuff.
My pleasure. I would love to share that. So Yogalachi is the name of my business, YOGILACHI. And so yogalachi.com is my website. And anyone can get my essential tools. And what I was talking about with regards to Peace Doesn't Come in a Pill, very simple book that describes the practice that I use to take back control of your life from the inside out. The essential tools that I love, those 11 tools, are in that free report. You're welcome to get that at my website, yogalachi.com. And what I do, and what I will continue to do at this point, it's funny that you said before where we were talking, I do things now in person. For years, I would do a lot of things just virtually like this. So I'd be looking at a little monitor and helping my clients. Now, there were powerful, powerful experiences doing that. But what experiences when my clients walk in that door and I see others interacting? So I'm not only seeing and feeling the interaction between me and my client and me, my clients and them, and then us together, and then all of us as a group, and then I see the ripple effect to their families. That's powerful to me. So what I do now is have my studio. So it's not just virtual anymore. I do virtual because there is definitely benefit to it, no question. I mean, everything's energy. What we understand with quantum energy now, we know that something right here, right now can affect something in China, right? We know this. So that's there as well. But I really enjoy so much this one-on-one experience, this group with doing private coaching as well as semi-private coaching, which is 1 to 4, and then 1 to up to 12 people in my small group training programs. And that's essentially what I have. And then I have tools workshops on a weekly basis that people come to learn and to master those tools. Breathing, nutrition, wisdom. We'll do let's say we'll use the tool emotional freedom technique, the tapping, TFT or EFT or rapid eye therapy. We'll do different tools. We'll do nerve flushing. We'll understand and we'll learn to use these tools. So it's not me delivering it to them and then them going away and living their lives. Instead, they're walking in here and they are learning to use these tools and integrate them and own them for themselves and decide, do I want this tool in my toolbox? Is this workable for me? Is it helping? Yes. Reinforce that. No, get rid of it. Release it from your life, right? That's the process that I rinse and repeat. Awareness, I help them expand their awareness from their viewpoint, not mine. I don't want people coming in here and copying me. Do what I do now. If you do this, you will become this. No. I have a prayer, a blessing that's over my door that everyone walks into the studio when they walk in. It's that they all who enter Yogalachi experience only their highest good and their best outcome. I don't know what that is. If I've seen one person, that's one person I've seen. Just because they're a female 45 years old and this background, just because they're a 52-year-old male, blah, 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 with this background, that means nothing to me. I look at them. I want to see you. I want to, right, connect, and then allow to unfold what needs to unfold. And over the past 30 years, I've developed the processes that I create and use to help my clients as a facilitator for their self-empowerment. And I was going to say, and to me, it's nothing special, but the truth is, it is special. I do, and finally, I can say, yes, I am special. I'm finally delivering and sharing my gifts. That is hugely powerful because you know what, Steve? A year ago, I could not say that. A year ago, I was living my life as if it was a duty. I was doing things I thought I should be doing. I needed to be doing to make up for some bad karma. That's why I had the sexual trauma and the abuse in my childhood. So I needed to make up, and so I had to work really hard, and that's why I had to suffer. No, I don't need to come from that place anymore. I remember that, and I'm really clear on that now. And so when people walk into my door and that's their manifest, I get it. And then I look at, oh, I realize I need to work on some more of my stuff and clear some more of my energy that's still stuck around there. Okay. And it starts to clear. Boom, 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 boom. Because you know what? When I'm helping somebody, guess who's getting to help the most?
You.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, absolutely.
How I help my clients best is I become them. Mm-hmm. Right? They become me, I become them, and I heal myself. That's what it looks like. And I hold this in our highest and best good because we are this creation.
Yeah, whatever it is that you bump up against, I don't have better words to use, but whatever it is that you bump up against when you interact with them, it's their gift to you. Yes,
that's a great one. I love that. And that's the joy of it. This is kind of a personal experience, but and cut me off if we need to with that time.
No worries.
So I don't know if you knew that my husband had a heart attack a year and a half ago. So he's 47, he had a heart attack, he had a cardiac arrest in the middle of downtown Portland. I'm in the other side of town, I'm in Vancouver where we live, and he's across the bridge. I had no idea. He was late, he had called, said he had texted me and said he was down, and I was in the middle of a coaching call. The hour went by, and so at the top of the hour, I called on his cell phone. I was wondering where he was, and he said there was no answer from him. The person that picked up was a female and said, the person who owns this phone is unconscious.
Wow.
Whew, my world just went, whoa. Call 911, my protocol of what I know. Call 911, do this, do this, do this. We did, okay, where is he located, da, da, da. And the moment that was done, and I went to call 911 and to find out where he was to actually get to the location, to the hospital I knew he'd have to be taken to, this whoosh, literally like whoo, came into me. And the communication was, should I stay or should I go? And it was so loud and so clear. And of course, I knew who it was and what it was. And I said, so crystal clear, I need you. I cannot do this alone. Now, what's really interesting is we had been through a process of getting divorced. Days that he was in ICU in an induced coma by the medical industry. He was, from that time that I found out that he was unconscious on the sidewalk in downtown Portland, the ambulance picked him up. He was basically DOA, unresponsive. They defibbed him 3 times, got to the hospital unresponsive. I'm racing to get to the hospital with my 2 boys. And I had to practice presence. It took me a moment. I had an amazing neighbor who helped with me, and we just went, whoop, and I said to my boys, both of them, the only thing that we know is this: Daddy, happy, healthy, and at home. That is all we held to. That was our intention. That's all we said. That's all we thought. That's all we knew. That's all we created. And between me, my 2 little boys, and all of our energy and all of everything that I called on, 4.5 days later, I brought my husband home, happy, healthy, and at home. That man, to this day, is known as Miracle Man. So I think that we have to step up. And when that happened, and then I got the bill for, we got the bill for multiple 6 figures for 4.5 days, and I was basically the one that saved his life. I didn't leave his side, and they were putting holes in him and doing insane things. Now, look. Wow. There's a reason for hospitals. I get it. I am not against hospitals. Not what this is about. But go in there and be in ICU for 4.5 days straight and see what happens. I knew what I had to do, and I did my woo-woo stuff in there, and he was out in 4.5 days. The point is this, that we have the power to create. I did not own my power at that time. I was afraid to charge for my services. I didn't feel my service was of value. I was willing, and I still am willing, to give it for free. I don't need to have exchange. But now I know better, in that that's just the way the universe, that's the way our reality works. There is fair exchange, and I believe in fair exchange. Fair financial exchange. And what I saw with the hospital for 4.5 days, our medical industry, our medical model is not fair financial exchange. And it is not correct. But that's a whole other topic.
Yeah, well.
Okay. But that was a huge catalyst for me, because it shifted my reality, and it took me quite a few months to handle my own post-traumatic stress disorder that I was experiencing. I couldn't be near the phone without literally dropping into that place where he was unconscious, and my body went through it. I didn't sleep for 4.5 days. This body did not sleep. That's never happened to me for 4.5 days straight, but I functioned and I did it. That's true power. That's the power of the life force that we are the creator. We are not just this body. We are not just this. We are part of this thinking brain, amazing, powerful, wonderful tool that we have. Heart, emotion, feeling, so beautiful. And this body, wow. Love your bodies. Love them, because they're amazing. I don't care if they're this or this. It doesn't matter. But love them. And love them because right now they are perfect exactly as they are. And if you want something different, then intend it. Be intentional about what you want to create, and then go out and do it. And focus and bring in the support, real support, please, true support, and reinforce what works and release what doesn't. That is my Yogalachi system. Those 5 steps, and then the pilot your way method. That's what I do. That's what I do day in, day out. That's what I help my clients with, and it works.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. So you are so authentic, and you are so powerful, and of course, it takes one to know one.
Yeah.
But
I can
all
appreciate
this, but all the stuff that you have shared, you know, I've been through myself, and I'm going through it myself, and I am no longer afraid to go out to the world and be out there with all this stuff and the wisdom that I have, because it teaches me things every
that.
day,
Yeah.
and I got to create a better experience from everything that I touch, and that's fun.
Yes, it is. That's what
And
life's about.
yeah, that's what it's about. It's about fun, having fun. Oh my God, what else is there? Um, and have a, you know, have a good time and touch hearts and touch other people. And I love myself. I sometimes stand in the middle of the office and I just say to everybody, "Can I have your attention?" And I'll just go, "I love myself 100%." And they'll just go, "What?" it's it's Steve again. And I go, "Yes, it's me again, because I just wanted you to make sure that you know. I wanted to announce it, and I want you to know that I love myself 100%. Everything that I do is intentional, and I do it because it's in the highest good of myself and everybody else involved. And that's
Awesome.
that's how I screen things. And I know that's
It's a
how
good
you,
thing.
and I know that's how you do life. And it's, this is amazing. And thank you so much for sharing your personal experience, as well as the program that you have created, and that you are, yes, you are changing lives from the inside out, and you do it every day, and you assist people, and that's fantastic. It's like going to get exercise. You can go to get exercise, but nobody's going to do it for you. And that's what you were speaking. You know, I can't show up in a gym and then get my instructor, "Well, would you do this for me?" And then I'll be in shape. That, it doesn't work that way.
That's right.
You got to
That's
do
exactly
it.
right.
But the instructor is there, you're there, the coach is there, the assistance is there, and you've got the tools. You can help them through. You can hold their hand through it, but they got to do the work.
Oh, but it's the greatest
It's the
experience of your
greatest.
life. I promise
Absolutely.
you. Yeah.
Absolutely. I believe you. I believe you
Yeah.
100%.
Awesome.
So, Stefana, thank you for being on the network. You are an outrageous and
My pleasure.
fantastic human being. Thank you for
Thank you.
being on this planet and doing the work that you do every day.
And to
And
you. And
I know that you love yourself 100%, because you couldn't be doing this if you didn't.
I do. Thank you so much.
And thank you. And for everybody else, let's make sure that you tell everybody one more time how to get to your website.
Sure. yogilachi.com. YOGILACHI.com.
Fantastic. Everybody go there, not just now, but after the show, because it will be watched a lot. I guarantee it. And again, thank you for being on the network. If you're going to watch this as a replay, make sure that you tell everybody you know, and everybody knows at least 200 people, right? And make sure that they come and watch. The more you watch, the more this show and other shows on our network, and we have thousands of them, we'll get under the top 10 every month. And if they do get to the top 10, they get to go to public television or cable television, or who knows what else we will do. What will we create next? Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place. ConsciousEvolutionMedia.com. I love you all. Thank you, Stefana. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Fantastic. Yeah. Have a good night and a great
Bye-bye.
weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.